So, good afternoon. It looks like you are well prepared for academic work at Grand Valley because many of you are sitting in the back, and whenever I walk into a classroom, there are so many students that are in the back. If you feel that it would be better for you to move up a row or two or a couple of rows and we could have a little bit closer group, that would be great. If you feel more comfortable sort of sitting in the back, that's totally fine too. So my name is Jeff Pottinger, and I am the Dean of the Graduate School here at Grand Valley State University. And the first thing I want to do this afternoon is to welcome you to GVSU and thank you for selecting Grand Valley State University as the institution for you to continue on with your graduate career. I also want to congratulate you on taking that step to being part of a small group of people worldwide that are pursuing graduate degrees. So less than 10% of the entire population of developed countries actually have a graduate degree, whether it be a master's degree, professional doctorate, an educational doctorate, or a PhD. So as you enter into your graduate program this semester, and you finish up that program in a couple of semesters, you're going to be part of a very small group. So thank you so much for choosing GVSU, and good luck on your endeavors. So today, what we are going to do is try to set you up with many of the tools and a lot of the information that you're going to need to be successful. So you've applied to Grand Valley, graduate program has accepted you, you start class on Monday. What do we need to do to help you be successful? We have a number of speakers today from a variety of offices across campus that are going to give you a considerable amount of information that hopefully will set you on that path to being successful. Regardless of whether you've been to GVSU as an undergraduate student or a non-degree seeking student, or this is your first time enrolled at GVSU, I think you'll find everybody's presentation today providing you with some information that's going to help you be successful. So I'm going to go ahead and get things started here. Just a couple of brief comments about graduate education, what the graduate school can do for you, and then a couple of tips that I've sort of learned in my 35 plus years teaching in higher ed to help you get successful. And then we'll go through with our list of speakers today. So, what's graduate education about? Well, the easiest way to answer this is it's not about undergraduate education, and it's not about what you did as an undergraduate student. The undergraduate education you have has laid this foundation for you to get a richer, deeper, more meaningful educational experience. And so by entering into a graduate program, that's what we hope you're going to find today. Some of you are here because you want to start a professional career. And there are so many careers out there now that the master's degree, and in some instances, the doctoral degree, are now the entry-level degree to be a physical therapist, to be a manager in a corporation. It's your chance to set yourself up for that professional career. I think the other thing that graduate education does is if you are already working or maybe you've had some career experience, I think it sets you up to progress further in your current area of employment. Or quite possibly you've decided, you know what, I've done what I've done for a while, I need to do something different. So whatever it is you're looking for, wherever it is you're here, I am convinced that Grand Valley is going to give you what you're looking for. Now, if that's not the case, you need to come and see me. You need to come and talk to me, and you need to tell me what your concerns are. You need to tell me your questions. You need to let me know how we can help you get what you want and accomplish what you need. Okay? All right. So how can the graduate school help? Well, here's a listing of all the things that we do. Probably what I should do in lieu of putting these 8 or 10 things that I have up here on the slide, I should probably tell you, if it has anything to do with graduate education, the graduate school is involved. And so what I'd like to do now is actually take you to the website, maybe. Come on, where's my mouse? Stephen, did we? Ah, there we go, got it. Come on. Come on.
Our lab computers are much quicker.
You know, inevitably, when I go in and teach a class, I always tell my students, you know, I'm reasonably technology savvy. And then when I go to do the first thing that I do in class, it doesn't work. So here's another example. Here we go. So if you go to our website, which is gvsu.edu/gs for grad school /, it takes you here. Now, I'm not going to go through everything that is contained on our site today, but there are a couple things that I want to point out that I think can be of benefit to you. So the first thing that I want to point out to you is the banner across the top, student resources. We have worked very hard and put a lot of effort into trying to identify all those resources that are going to help you be successful and put them in one spot. Come on. Boy, they are slow, aren't they? It is thinking. Of course, I've clicked on it 3 times, and so now it's confused. So what we've got is this web page that gives you a wealth of information it's going to help you at various points in your career. So on the left-hand column here, we've got getting started, okay? Now, you're a current student now, so what do you need to know? Well, at the very front, top of the list there is new graduate student orientation. You know, graduate student blueprint, the catalog, campus dining, a lot of the things that some of the folks are going to talk about today, but they're still there for your convenience to say, look, I need to know something about how am I going to eat from the time that I leave work till I get here. Stephen's going to talk about that later on, but we have the additional information there. We've talked about being successful. Well, you know, you need support. So we have a variety of student support centers. We have financial support that's available to you. If you are new to Grand Rapids, I don't know if there's anybody from the east side of the state or from outside of the Tri-County area that is not familiar with Grand Rapids. We have some links that can take you and sort of show you what's available that you can become actively involved in. We have a number of reports and programs if you're interested in what we've done in the past and what we want to do in the future. We have manuals, guidebooks, handbooks, newsletters. We've tried to put everything that we think that you need to be successful on this page. A couple of other things I want to share with you. The forms library. The forms library contains, hopefully, every form that you would ever possibly need in your career as a graduate student at GVSU. So let's say, for example, you are a part-time student and you work, you have family obligations. We have an 8-year time limit here at Grand Valley. So once you start your graduate program, you have 8 years in which you need to complete your degree program. Well, there's an exception to that policy, and it's called the 8-year extension form. And that's just one example of a variety of other forms that we have up here. We have graduate faculty forms, thesis and dissertation forms. If you're in a program that requires you to do a thesis or you're in a program that requires you to do a dissertation, here's where you can go to get those forms that you need to complete to successfully move through the thesis or the dissertation project. Okay? So those are some things I wanted to share with you. And then finally, news and events. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is how do you become an engaged graduate student? And it's very important for you to understand that to be successful in graduate education, I truly believe you have to do more than just go to class, take exams, and write term papers. If that's all you do, can you get a graduate degree? Sure. But I think you're going to miss out on a lot of what graduate education is about. And that is getting involved, being involved in clubs, doing research work with a faculty member in his or her lab, getting involved in a community project, getting involved in the Graduate Student Association. I know everybody's busy. I know we all have lots of things to do, but I want to encourage you to do those extra kinds of things because that is what's going to set you apart as a student with a master's degree or a doctoral degree when you go out to get that job. There are a lot of students across the country right now sitting in a lot of auditoriums at a lot of universities that are working on their graduate degrees or just starting their graduate degree. What are you going to do to make yourself different? What are you going to do to set yourself apart so that when you go out there and you apply for the job, you can talk to somebody in a nonprofit organization and say, look, when I was in grad school, I worked for a nonprofit. I did a community service project for a nonprofit. Or if you're going to go out there and you're going to apply for a job at a pharmaceutical, with a pharmaceutical company, you can say, you know what? I was in the molecular biology lab, and I have a lot of benchtop experience. Those are just two examples of ways that you can get involved, and that's what I would encourage you to do. All right, so let's see if we can go back. There we go. Let's see if we can finish it up here. So again, I mentioned I've been doing this for 35 plus years now, and there have been a couple of things that I've learned over the years that I want to share with you that I think can help you be successful. So these are kind of my tips. The first thing you need to do is identify an advisor/mentor. Somebody who in your graduate program or connected to your graduate program is going to help you figure out the right way to go, help you determine what path is most appropriate for you, help you answer those questions, help you develop as a professional. Dr. Lettenden's going to talk in a couple of minutes about, a little bit more specifically about identifying a mentor and what that person can do to help you. But what I've learned over the years is that students who are successful in graduate school have a pretty close relationship with an advisor and a mentor. The second thing I want to share with you is getting to know the program requirements. Make sure you understand clearly all the courses you have to take, the ones that are required in your core component of your program, the ones that are required electives, but I think that's sort of an oxymoron, right? So, see the courses, look at the things you have to do, make sure you're aware of when you have to turn certain projects in, know exactly what has to be done in your program to complete your degree. I've already mentioned this, get involved, okay? Don't just go to class. Don't just take the exams or turn in the papers. Look for ways to further develop yourself as a professional so that when you are finished with your degree, you have much more to share with a prospective employer than, hey, I got my master's degree in public administration at Grand Valley State University. You want to be able to say that, but you also want to be able to say, and I did this, and I did this. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take an investment of you to do those things, but I promise you, if you do them, you will be so much better off once you've finished your degree and you move out into the world. And then finally, you want to make sure you establish a workable timeline to finish your degree requirements. We have 36 plus graduate programs across the university. They all have different degree requirements. Some of them have clinical requirements. Some of them have a thesis requirement. Some of them have a project requirement. Some of them have a community service requirement. Make sure that you know what has to be done and then figure out how you're going to get it accomplished. Be careful. If you don't plan well, it will take you longer than you think it's going to take. Particularly those of you that are going to do any kind of major research project. Doing a thesis, doing a dissertation, if it's not planned well, if you don't work closely with your mentor, takes longer than you think it's actually going to take. So, I want to wish you all the best. If there is anything that I can do to help you out, please come and see me. Again, my name is Jeff Pottinger, and I'm the Dean of the Graduate School here at Grand Valley State University. And thank you for picking GVSU to come and complete your graduate degree. Now I'd like to turn it over to Professor Mark Lettenden. He is the Associate Dean in the Graduate School, and he's going to talk a little bit more about being successful in graduate education.